Don't look away. Not yet. Because you're about to understand something your heart has been begging for. You didn't just lose a person. You were redirected by Allah. The separation you cried over wasn't rejection. It was protection. And for so long, you begged Allah for clarity, for a sign, for a reason, for an explanation to stop the shaking in your chest. This, right now, is that explanation. Listen, they were never meant to stay. Their role in your life had a limit. Their presence had an expiration date. And the day they left was the day Allah rescued your soul from a storm you didn't even know was forming. I know you feel the loss. I know your chest still feels heavy. I know the memories still sting. But soon you will see that Allah took nothing from you. He took what was taking you away from Him. The separation was written before your birth. What happened to you? The ending you didn't expect. The silence that replaced what once felt so alive. The sudden distance. The unanswered questions. None of this was chaos. None of this was without meaning. None of this was a mistake. Even though it shook you. Even though it left you breathless. Even though your hands didn't know how to hold the pieces of your heart anymore. Allah knew. Allah knew the exact day your paths would cross. He knew the warmth that would enter your chest when you first felt understood. He knew the peace you felt when you didn't have to explain yourself to them. He knew the way your heart rested in their presence. But He also knew the exact moment when that presence would no longer serve your soul. You thought your story was just beginning, but Allah knew the chapter was ending. If you could see the pages of your destiny written in the preserved tablet, if you could see every rise and fall laid out with divine precision, your tears would turn into sujood of gratitude, not heartbreak. What surprised your heart was already written before your first heartbeat. You didn't lose something you were meant to keep. You simply reached the page where that part of your story was meant to close. And I know you wanted more time, one more conversation, one more explanation, one more chance, one more moment where you didn't have to feel this heaviness in your chest. But if Allah had allowed more time, your attachment would have deepened, your dependence would have grown, your heart would have tied itself in knots so tight that undoing them later would have destroyed you more painfully. So Allah protected you by ending it when it ended. This is what you don't see yet. Your attachment was growing faster than your spiritual grounding. You were beginning to place your emotional survival in a heart that could never hold yours permanently. You didn't mean to. You didn't choose it. It happened because you're human. Your heart is soft. Your loyalty is real. Your love is sincere. You give all of yourself when you care. And Allah knows that about you. He created your tenderness. He knows how deeply you feel. He knows how your chest tightens when you love. He knows how you break, quietly, silently, where no one sees. So when He saw that this connection was beginning to own a part of your soul, the part that belongs only to Him, He intervened. Not because He wanted you to suffer, but because He wanted to save you. Your heart was being shaped to depend more on the created than the Creator. And Allah loves you too much to let your soul become owned by anything fragile. So He took it away gently, suddenly, without warning, because if you saw the truth of their heart, you would have held on. You would have refused to let go. You would have ignored every sign. You would have tried to fix what was not meant to be healed. So Allah ended it for you. This was not rejection. This was redirection. This was Allah saying, "My beloved servant, I saw what your heart could not see. I removed this because your soul was in danger. I did not take something from you. I saved you from something that would have taken you. You think your story is broken, but your story is being protected. You think your heart is empty, but your heart is being prepared. You think you lost something important, but Allah is making space for something eternal. Listen, the one who left was not your destiny. They were the doorway to it. Their role was to awaken something in your heart that needed to be awakened before you could walk into the life Allah is preparing for you. The story is not over. This is just the turn of a page. And this ache you feel right now? It is the sound of your soul being rearranged into something stronger. This is not the end. This is the beginning of who you're becoming. And I know, your heart is tired of being strong. You're exhausted from pretending that you're okay. You're tired of saying, I accept, while your chest still aches when their name crosses your mind. You're tired of being the one who always survives loss, like it's your destiny to keep rebuilding yourself alone. You didn't want strength. You wanted them. You wanted a future. You wanted something that felt safe enough to rest in. But sometimes, the things we call home are actually the things that hold us back from finding our real home in Allah. You don't realize it yet, but the place you were trying to build your life in was too small for who Allah is shaping you to become. Your heart was growing. Your soul was rising. Your destiny was calling you forward. But you were holding on to something that belonged to an older version of you. The version that didn't know its worth. The version that didn't know its purpose. The version that survived by loving too softly and giving too quickly. That version of you was ending. So the person who matched that version had to leave too. You thought they were your future, but they were only your transition. The doorway between who you were and who Allah is guiding you to become. And transitions are always painful, because one part of you is dying, while another part is being born. You stand at the middle of that dying and becoming. That's why your soul feels heavy. That's why your chest feels tight. That's why even breathing feels like work sometimes. But listen closely. The pain you feel right now is not the pain of losing someone. It is the pain of returning to yourself. Your heart is learning how to beat without depending on someone else's presence. Your soul is learning how to stand on its own without leaning on someone else's words. Your identity is being rewritten, not by the world, but by Allah. You're learning that your strength does not come from who stays. It comes from who you are when everyone leaves. And somewhere in this quiet ache, you will notice something gentle happening inside you. You'll begin to breathe differently. You'll begin to think differently. You'll begin to look at yourself differently. You'll start to understand that loving someone deeply was never the mistake. The pain you feel is proof that your heart is alive, that you have the ability to care, to feel, to attach, to give. Your heart is not weak. Your heart is beautiful. But now it is being taught something rare. How to love without losing yourself. How to care without abandoning your own needs. How to give without handing away your identity. How to attach while still being anchored in Allah. And that lesson is a sacred one. You could not learn it while they were here. You had to learn it in their absence. Sometimes the space they leave behind is where your soul finally hears Allah clearly. Sometimes the quiet after someone leaves is where you find the parts of yourself if you forgot you had. You are not being punished. You are being redirected to your own soul. You are not being abandoned. You are being called back to the one who never leaves. You are not being emptied. You are being prepared. Prepared for someone whose presence will feel like peace, not confusion. Prepared for a love that will protect your faith, not weaken it. Prepared for a bond that will feel like dua answered, not a wound reopened. Prepared for someone who will stay, not because you hold them tightly, but because Allah wrote their soul to walk with yours. What left was never yours. What is coming is worth every tear you have cried, every late night, every silent heartbreak, every prayer whispered into your pillow. Allah heard all of it, and He will return to you, not what you lost, but what you were always meant to receive. This is not over. This is the becoming of you, the real you, the healed you, the guided you, the you that was always written to rise. Allah removes what your heart can't. You loved with a real heart, not a half-hearted, temporary love, but a love that came from the deepest part of you, a love that believed, a love that trusted, a love that hoped for a future. You didn't fake your intentions. You didn't pretend. You didn't hold back. You gave your heart in a way that felt pure. But purity can be fragile, and Allah saw what you did not see. You saw sweetness in them, but Allah saw the bitterness hidden beneath it. You saw beauty in the connection, but Allah saw the cracks in their sincerity. You saw a future with them, but Allah saw the pain that future would bring. Sometimes Allah does not show you the truth of a person. He simply removes them. Not because you were wrong to love, not because you were not enough, not because your love failed, but because your heart is too valuable to be handled by someone who does not know how to care for souls gently. Allah knew your heart was soft. Allah knew your love was loyal. Allah knew your soul holds tenderness like a garden full of blooming flowers. So He did not let someone walk through that garden with careless footsteps. Your heart is a trust from Allah. Not everyone is allowed to hold it. So when Allah saw your heart becoming tied to someone who would have one day broken you slowly, not all at once, but in little ways that would have scarred you, He protected you in a way only Allah can. Silently, suddenly, completely. He shifted the situation. He changed the path. He closed the door. He turned their heart away. He made them leave. And you stood there, not understanding why. You wondered, why now? Why like this? Why so painful? But sometimes Allah does not wait. For the moment, you are strong enough to let go. Sometimes Allah ends it before the damage becomes too deep to repair. If Allah had allowed them to stay longer, your heart would have tied itself tighter. Your identity would have wrapped around them. Your happiness would have depended on their presence. Your peace would have sat in their hands. And Allah loves you far too much to let your peace live in the hands of someone temporary. So He removed them, not because you were weak, but because your love was too strong, too pure, too real, too deep. And Allah wanted to protect that love for someone who will value it, honor it, respect it, guard it, and lead it back to Allah, not away from Him. This removal was not loss. It was mercy. If Allah showed you their private conversations, their hidden intentions, the words they spoke behind your back, the prayers they never included you in, your heart would shatter. So Allah protected you from a truth that would have broken you more than the separation did. Your tears now are nothing compared to the tears you would have cried later. You did not lose them. You were saved from a heartbreak you never saw coming. Allah doesn't always explain. He protects in the quiet because He knows your heart better than you ever will. He knows where your heart bends, where it cracks, where it tears, where it bleeds. So when He removes someone, He is removing a future pain, a pain your heart could not carry. And right now, maybe all you see is the empty space they left behind. The silence, the distance, the unanswered messages, the memories that still echo. But soon, not today, maybe not tomorrow, but soon, you will see the wisdom. You will look back and say, Ya Allah, if they had stayed, I would have lost myself. Allah didn't take someone from you. He took something away from you, something that was quietly draining your soul. You survived something your heart had no idea it needed to be rescued from. Pain is the first stage of healing. You felt something break inside you the moment they left. Not a loud break, not something the world could hear, but a quiet, heavy collapse deep inside your chest. It was the kind of pain that doesn't show on your face, but lives behind your eyes. You smiled in front of people. You said, I'm okay. You carried yourself like you were fine. But inside, Something was wounded. The world thinks heartbreak is dramatic, crying loudly, falling apart, losing control. But real heartbreak is silent. It's the ache that wakes you in the middle of the night. It's the moment your hands tremble while you're doing something ordinary. It's the sudden heaviness in your chest when a memory passes through. It's the breath that feels harder than it should. This pain is real, and Allah sees it, every part of it, every tear, every silent breakdown, every time you whispered their name in your heart, even after they were gone. But listen, this pain is not the end. It is the beginning. Pain is not a sign that your heart is dying. Pain is the sign that your heart is trying to heal. Wounds hurt most when they begin to close. This is the stage where Allah is softening you, cleaning you, purifying your heart from attachments that you couldn't let go of on your own. Your heart is being washed. Do you know why it hurts so deeply? Because you didn't just lose someone. You lost the version of yourself that existed with them, and that part of you is being replaced with someone wiser, someone quieter, someone closer to Allah, someone stronger but softer at the same time. Growth does not happen in comfort. It happens in breaking. You are being reshaped, rewritten, rerouted. Your pain is not a punishment. It is transformation. Allah is peeling away the layer of your soul that relied on people, so He can return you to relying on Him. You prayed for closeness to Allah, but you didn't know what that closeness required. Sometimes closeness comes by giving. Sometimes closeness comes by gratitude. But sometimes closeness comes through loss, because when Allah removes what distracts you, your heart finally turns back to the one who never leaves. And that turning hurts. It stretches the soul. It squeezes the heart. But it also awakens something beautiful inside you. A softness, a quiet strength, a new way of breathing, a new way of standing, a new way of being. You are being taught how to live without depending on someone's presence. You are being taught how to stand again after something you thought you needed is gone. You are being taught how to fill your own heart with light, instead of waiting for someone else to bring it to you. And yes, there will be nights when your chest tightens for no reason, nights when you miss them without wanting to, nights when the memories feel fresher than your healing. That's okay. Healing is not a straight line. Some days your heart will feel light. Some days it will feel heavy. Some days you'll breathe easily. Some days your breath will tremble. This doesn't mean you're weak. This means you are human. Allah does not rush your healing. He guides it gently, step by step, breath by breath. Every tear that falls now is a tear that purifies the heart. The heart you will have after this will not be the same heart you had before. It will be softer, because it knows how much love can hurt. It will be wiser, because it learned not everyone who enters is meant to stay. It will be stronger, because it survived something that felt impossible. And it will be closer to Allah, because it learned who to return to when the world becomes silent. What you're feeling now is not the pain of being destroyed. It is the pain of rebirth. It is the tenderness of a heart that is being rewoven. It is the ache of wings that have not opened yet. It is the quiet before Allah gives you something you will look back at and say, "This is what my pain was preparing me for." Your heart is not breaking. Your heart is becoming. They were a lesson, not a lifetime gift. You didn't meet them by accident. Their name didn't enter your life without purpose. Their presence wasn't random. Their timing wasn't coincidence. They came exactly when your heart was in a certain stage of its journey. They came exactly when you needed to learn something that your soul was not aware of yet. They came when you were vulnerable enough to feel deeply, but open enough to be shaped. You see, some people are not sent into your life to stay. They are sent to wake something inside you. Maybe they taught you how deeply you are capable of loving. Maybe they taught you your value by not knowing how to hold it. Maybe they taught you patience. Maybe they taught you what your boundaries should be. Maybe they taught you how dangerous it is to place your peace in another human being. They were a lesson, not a lifetime gift. But you, your heart, your softness, you tried to build forever with them. You tried to make something temporary into something eternal. You tried to hold on to what was only meant to pass through. You tried to love them into staying, but not every soul that touches yours. It is meant to walk with you to the end of your journey. Some people are like doors. You walk through them, and on the other side, you are not the same person you were before. Some people are like mirrors. They reflect back to you the parts of yourself you never noticed, the parts that needed healing, the parts you tried to hide from the world, the parts you didn't know needed forgiveness. Some people are like storms. They come suddenly. They shake everything inside you. They rearrange your world, and then they leave. But after they leave, you realize the soil of your heart has been turned over. New seeds can grow there now. Seeds that could never have grown before the storm. And that's the hardest part to accept. They were never meant to stay. Your heart wanted them. Your heart believed in them. Your heart built dreams around them. But Allah saw the ending your eyes could not yet see, so He sent them to your life, for just as long as your soul needed them. Not one day more, not one day less. The moment their purpose was fulfilled, the moment your heart had learned what it needed to learn, Allah wrote their exit, and it hurt. Because your heart doesn't understand timing the way Allah does. Your heart only knows attachment. Your heart only knows the way their presence felt. Your heart only remembers the softness. But Allah knew that if they stayed longer, the lesson would turn into dependency. The blessing would turn into distraction. The love would turn into a cage. So Allah did not let the lesson become your life. You asked, why didn't it last? But the question should be, what did this love teach me? Because love is not always meant to be kept. Sometimes, love is meant to transform you, to break the walls around your heart, to reveal who you are beneath your fears, to show you what kind of softness your soul is capable of, to remind you that your heart is still alive. That love was not wasted. It changed you. It grew you. It humbled you. It purified you. And growth is never loss. Even if your heart had to ache to learn it. You did not fail. They did not fail. The chapter simply ended when the lesson was complete. Some souls are like travelers. They walk with you for only one valley, one season, one emotional winter or spring. But when that season ends, they must continue their journey, and you must continue yours. Your story doesn't end because they left. Your story begins because you learned, and what you learned will help you love better in the future, more wisely, more gently, more beautifully, more consciously, more from the soul than the wound. The love that is meant to stay will not require you to suffer to keep it. It will not drain you. It will not confuse you. It will not make you question your worth. Your real love, your written love, your destined love will feel like home, not survival. And you will recognize it, because your heart will be healed enough to see it. This ending is not your closure. It is your becoming. What was meant for you would never walk away. There is something you need to understand, not just with your mind, but with your heart. What is truly written for you will never require you to chase it. Not you convincing, not you begging, not you proving your worth over and over. Not you shrinking yourself so someone else can stay comfortable. Not you holding on so tightly that it hurts to breathe. When Allah writes a soul into your life, when He writes love into your destiny, when He writes a bond that is meant to walk with you, it stays. Not because you force it, not because you perform perfectly, not because you are flawless. It stays because Allah wrote your paths to cross again and again and again, in ways that feel almost unreal. But when Allah does not write someone for you, you could hold on with both hands, bleed through your fingers, pour every part of your heart into them, and they will still slip away. Not because you were not enough, not because you didn't love deeply, not because you didn't try. They walk away because their chapter in your story was never meant to last beyond a certain page. Your heart fought for them. Your mind built a future with them. Your soul recognized something familiar in them. And yet, they left. And that leaving did not break your story. It completed a part of it. What leaves your life was never tied to your destiny. What stays was written for your soul before you ever opened your eyes in this world. I know you replay the moments. I know you look back and wonder, was it my fault? Could I have done something differently? Or was I not enough for them to choose me? But understand this, if they had been written for you, not even mountains could have separated you. Distance would not matter. Time would not matter. Misunderstandings would not matter. Arguments would not matter. Silence would not matter. The world could collapse around you, and they would still return. Because souls that are written to walk together find their way back always. But if they were not written for you, even if they lived in the same house as you, shared meals with you, laughed with you, loved you, their heart would eventually drift elsewhere. Because Allah does not allow what is not yours to stay. Your heart is not losing. Your heart is being protected. Protected from building a home in someone who was just passing through. Protected from pouring your future into hands that could not hold you. Protected from handing your soul to someone who was not prepared to honor it. You did not lose something meant for you. You lost something that looked like your future, but was never going to be your eternity, and that is mercy. The day you stop chasing what left is the day your heart breathes again. The day you stop trying to reopen a door Allah has closed is the day peace returns to your chest. The day you accept that what walked away was not written for you is the day your healing begins. Because you cannot miss what was never yours, and you cannot lose what is written for you. What is yours? It will come in a way that feels natural. It will not rush you. It will not confuse you. It will not make your heart feel heavy. It will not make you question your worth. It will not make you beg for reassurance. It will not disappear at the first difficulty. What is yours will feel like a door that opens when you knock softly, not one you have to break your hands trying to force open. What is yours will stay, because Allah wrote it to stay. Not because you fought for it, not because you were perfect, but because Allah placed tranquility in both hearts. This is why some people leave quietly, not because the story was wrong, but because the story was complete. You loved, you learned, you grew, you healed, you transformed. That was the purpose. Not forever. Just change. And when the love that is actually written for you arrives, it will arrive gently, not as chaos, not as confusion, not as uncertainty. It will arrive like coming home, and your heart will finally understand why this one had to end. What was meant for you would never walk away. Your heart is tired, I know, tired of remembering, tired of missing someone who is no longer here, tired of trying to understand what went wrong, tired of waking up with the same ache in your chest. You're tired of pretending the pain is gone, when it still sits quietly beneath your ribs like something sacred and heavy. But listen, healing does not begin by forgetting. Healing begins when you accept that not everything you love is meant to stay. Some people enter your life to awaken your heart, but not to walk with you into your future. Some people are written in the middle chapters, not the last ones. Their purpose was not to stay forever. Their purpose was to shape the you that Allah is preparing for what is forever. You think you lost something because they left. But what if I told you you gained something your future will thank you for? Because now you know how to love more consciously. You know what your heart needs and what it cannot carry. You know where your boundaries are. You know what kind of love brings peace, and what kind drags your soul into exhaustion. This heartbreak did not break you, it revealed you. Revealed your sensitivity, your loyalty, your depth, your sincerity, your willingness to give. So many people live their lives never knowing how deeply they can feel. But you learned. Your heart has depth. Your heart has softness. Your heart has courage. And now Allah is refining that heart, polishing it, purifying it, strengthening it, so that when the love written for you arrives, you will meet it as someone who is ready, not broken, not desperate, not searching for completion in someone else, but whole, rooted, at peace. And when that love comes, you will understand why this one could not stay, because what is yours will stay without force, will love you without confusion, will choose you without hesitation, will protect your heart as if it were their own, will bring you closer to Allah, not further away. And you will not feel afraid. You will not feel small. You will not feel like you have to earn love just to be kept. You will feel safe, because what is meant for you was written with your soul in mind, written with your healing in mind, written with your growth in mind, written with your future in mind, written by the one who knows the secrets of your heart. So let what left leave. Let the chapter close. Let your heart breathe, because what was written for you is not gone. It is simply making its way to you, and when it arrives, you will look up to the sky with tears in your eyes and say, Ya Allah, now I understand. You never lost anything. You are being led to what is actually yours. What was meant for you would never walk away. Your soul is being prepared for something purer. There is a reason your heart feels different now. Not broken, different. Not empty, rearranged. Not lost, just not in the place it once was. Something inside you has shifted. You can feel it, even if you cannot explain it. You don't smile the same. You don't laugh the same. The world does not feel the same. You are in the quiet part of your transformation. The part where Allah is working on you in ways you cannot see. The part where everything feels slower, heavier. Quieter. This is not sadness. This is purification. Your heart is being cleaned. Your soul is being softened. Your attachment is being redirected back to the one who created you. Because the truth is, before Allah gives you something pure, He first removes what was polluting your heart. You had love inside you. You had sincerity. You had loyalty. You had softness. But you gave it to someone who was not ready to honor it, not ready to protect it, not ready to grow with it. And Allah saw that. He saw how your heart was bending to accommodate someone who did not know how to hold hearts gently. He saw how you were shrinking your needs so they could feel comfortable. He saw how you silenced your pain to keep the connection alive. Allah saw your sacrifice long before you realized you were sacrificing. And Allah said, "No, not this." You thought losing them was the pain, but the real pain was what your heart became while trying to keep them. You lost your spark. You lost your confidence. You lost the softness in your voice. You lost the lightness in your chest. You lost the ease in your prayers. You lost parts of yourself just to hold on. So Allah took away the person to return you back to you. Not the broken you, not the tired you, not the shattered you, but the real you. The you before the disappointment. The you before the heartbreak. The you before the self-doubt. The you who knew how to love without begging to be loved back. Your soul is not being punished. It is being reset. Allah is preparing you for a love that will not require you to lose yourself. A love that feels like peace, not anxiety. A love that feels like safety, not survival. A love that makes you closer to Allah, not further. But you couldn't receive that love while holding on to the old one. So Allah had to empty your hands, even if it hurt, even if it felt like your chest was ripping open, even if your nights became quieter and heavier than you've ever known. You needed space inside your heart for what is coming, and right now that space feels like loneliness. But it is not loneliness. It is preparation. Your heart is learning to stand again. Your soul is learning to breathe again. Your identity is learning to exist without depending on someone else's presence. You are learning how to live without being emotionally carried. And that is the most sacred healing of all. You are not waiting for someone. You are becoming someone. And when Allah finally brings the one written to walk beside you, they will not meet the broken version of you. They will meet the healed one, the wise one, the one whose heart has depth, dignity, and softness rooted in Allah. Because this time, the love will not just be love. It will be peace, sukoon, sincerity, compassion, patience, worship, dua, growth, home. Not a home built out of fear of being alone, but a home built from two souls who know who they belong to. You are being prepared for a love that does not have to hurt to be real. A love with clean intentions. A love that does not shake your heart. A love that feels like a place your soul recognizes. A love written by Allah. And the one who is meant for you is being prepared too. There is a moment in every healing journey where the heart stops asking for what left and begins to ask for what is true. You are entering that moment, slowly, quietly, without dramatic change, without anyone else noticing, but you feel it. The way you no longer crave their presence the same way. The way you no longer break at the sound of their memory. The way their name does not echo inside your chest the way it once did. It still hurts, yes, but the pain is different now. It is not the pain of loss. It is the pain of release. Your heart is unlearning. Your soul is stripping away old attachments. Your inner world is rearranging its priorities. This is not emptiness. This is making space. Allah is preparing your heart to receive something bigger than what you lost. Something deeper, something more aligned. Something He always intended for you. But before He gives you what is written, He must remove what you held on to out of hope, habit, fear, or longing. Because sometimes the hardest truth is this: you weren't holding on to a person, you were holding on to who you wanted them to be. You were in love with the potential, the dream, the softness you imagined would one day appear. But Allah does not build your life on wishful illusions. He builds it on truth, and truth sometimes hurts before it heals. The soul cannot carry two worlds. It cannot cling to what was and receive what is coming. So Allah allowed your heart to break, to make room for what is real. This breaking is sacred. This breaking is not destruction. This breaking is the uncovering of you, the version of you who prays differently now, who talks to Allah more honestly now, who asks for guidance with sincerity now, who has stopped pretending to be strong in front of Allah now. Your soul is being brought back to its original softness, before the betrayal, before the disappointment, before the loneliness, before the fear. Your heart is being brought back to the state where it can love again without losing itself. And that takes time. It takes silence. It takes nights where the tears fall quietly. It takes days where you are gentle with yourself. Healing is not loud. Healing is not fast. Healing is not a performance. Healing is a conversation between your wounds and your Lord. You whisper, "Ya Allah, I don't know how to move forward." And Allah answers, "I am already guiding you." You whisper, "Ya Allah, this pain is heavy." And Allah answers, "I am holding your heart while it hurts." You whisper, "Ya Allah, I miss what I lost." And Allah answers, I removed it because you asked me to protect your soul even when you didn't realize it. This pain has a purpose. It is teaching you how to stand without relying on someone else. It is teaching you how to breathe without depending on someone's presence. It is teaching you how to live with Allah at the center of your heart again. Because what Allah is preparing for you is not ordinary. It will not be rushed. It will not be careless. It will not be confused. It will not be temporary. It will be intentional. It will be tender. It will be sacred. It will be guided by Him. This time, love will not make you anxious. This time, love will not make you question yourself. This time, love will not drain you. This time, love will feel like dua answered. Because the one who is coming, it is not coming to complete you. They are coming to walk with you, not to take your heart, but to protect it, not to distract you from Allah, but to remind you of Him. And when that love arrives, your soul will recognize it instantly, not because of excitement, but because of peace. Peace that settles in your chest like a soft sunrise. Peace that feels familiar. Peace that feels like coming home to a place you've never been, but your soul remembers. This is what Allah is preparing you for. A love that is pure, a love that is safe, a love that is written, a love that leads both hearts toward Jannah. And this healing you are walking through now is shaping you into the person who will be able to receive it. There will come a quiet moment, not dramatic, not loud, not noticeable to the world, but a moment only you will feel. You will wake up one morning, and the weight in your chest will feel lighter. Not gone, just lighter, as if someone has loosened a knot that was tied deep inside you for so long. You won't realize it immediately. You won't smile wide or celebrate. You may not even understand why, but your soul will whisper, "I survived that." This is when you begin to realize you never needed the person. You needed the lesson. You needed the growth. You needed the clarity. You needed the awakening. Your heart is learning how to walk without leaning on emotional crutches. It is learning how to be whole again, but differently this time. Stronger, but not hardened. Soft, but not fragile. Open, but not careless. Because Allah does not just heal your heart from the pain. He heals your heart from the reason it was hurt. The version of you that allowed others to take more than they gave is being rewritten. The version of you that confused attachment for love is being corrected. The version of you that accepted the bare minimum just to feel something is being lifted. You are not returning to who you were before. You are evolving into who you were always meant to become. And because of that, the next chapter of your life cannot look like the previous one. What is coming will require a clearer heart, a firmer soul, a quieter ego, a stronger sense of self-worth, a deeper connection to Allah. And that is what this loneliness is doing. It is not empty space. It is sacred construction. Your heart is being rebuilt, brick by brick, with gentleness, patience, stillness, and faith. This is why Allah has slowed your life down. This is why the world feels quieter. This is why everything feels so still inside of you. You are in the workshop of your soul. And in this workshop, Allah is removing the desperation you once called love, the fear you once called attachment, the anxiety you once mistook for connection, the ache you once thought was normal. He is removing every part of you that used to accept less than what your soul deserves. And when He is done, you will not recognize yourself. Your silence will speak more than your words ever did. Your presence will feel different, softer, deeper, calmer. Your love will be intentional, not fearful. Your heart will feel like home, not a battlefield. And then, only then, Allah will bring the one written to walk with you. A soul who does not run when things get heavy. A soul who does not shrink from your depth. A soul who is gentle with your wounds. A soul who speaks your heart's language without needing translation. A soul who was being prepared at the same time you were. Because Allah does not send you someone while you are still bleeding. He waits until your heart becomes a place worth arriving to. So do not rush this healing. Do not hate this waiting. Do not fear this loneliness. Your soul is not being emptied. Your soul is being made ready. What is coming is not ordinary. What is coming is written. What is coming is pure. What is coming is yours. And when it arrives, your heart will whisper, This is what Allah was preparing me for all along. What Allah takes, He replaces with better. When Allah takes something from you, your heart feels it before your mind understands it. It feels like a quiet collapse inside your chest. A pressure that doesn't make a sound but weighs on every breath. A silence that is louder than any noise. You ask yourself 1,000 questions. Why did this happen? Why now? Why did they leave when I needed them most? Why would Allah allow me to love something, only to take it away? But the truth is, when Allah removes something from your life, He is not taking from you. He is making space. Space for what is better. Space for what is purer. Space for what is yours. Space for what your soul has been praying for in silence. You see only what was lost, but Allah sees what was never going to last. You see the pain of separation, but Allah sees the pain that would have destroyed you, if that thing, that person, that attachment remained. You see heartbreak, but Allah sees protection. If Allah showed you what He saved you from, your heart would fall into sujood in gratitude until it could not stand again. The truth is, your heart is too precious to Allah to be held by hands that were never meant to protect it. So He took those hands away, even if your heart screamed to keep them, even if your attachment fought to stay, even if you cried, Ya Allah, please, not this. He did not take, because He wanted you to hurt. He took, because He wanted you to heal. He took, because He saw what was coming, and you did not. He took, because your heart was being shaped for something greater. Not ordinary love, not temporary comfort, not emotional survival, but peace, sakoon, a love that is not chaotic, a love that does not make your chest heavy, a love that leads your heart back to Him, because Allah does not replace something in your life with something the same or lesser. When Allah replaces, ilibatis. When Allah replaces, He gives you what matches your growth, not your loneliness, not your wounds, not your fear, but your becoming. But to receive better, your hands had to be emptied, your heart had to be cleared, your attachment had to be undone. Because if Allah gave you what is written for you, while your heart was still holding what was hurting you, you would not be able to recognize the blessing. You had to feel loss, so you could learn how to value what is real. You had to feel loneliness, so your soul could learn how to sit with Allah. You had to cry, so your heart could soften enough to receive something gentle. This pain was not without purpose. This ending was not without direction. This heartbreak was not without wisdom. If Allah takes something from your life, He replaces it with something that touches your soul, not just your emotions. Something that doesn't just look good or feel good, but something that heals. He replaces confusion with clarity, restlessness with calm, attachment with peace, fear with faith, temporary love with love that leads to Jannah. But this replacement does not come all at once. It comes quietly, slowly, in stages, like dawn. Your heart does not notice when the sun begins to rise, but slowly, light makes its way back into everything. And one day, you will wake up and realize the heaviness isn't there anymore. Not because you forgot them, not because the memories disappeared, but because Allah filled the space they left. He filled it with Himself, with peace, with strength, with self-respect, with clarity, with light. He filled your heart with you, again, the real you, the you that was buried under longing. And when your heart is ready, He will send someone written for you, someone who will see your soul, hold your heart carefully, understand your silence, speak the language of your wounds, protect your softness, and lead you closer to Allah. Not because you ask them to, not because you try to convince them, but because their soul is tied to yours by destiny. What Allah replaces is always better. Always. Even if right now it hurts too much to believe that. There is a moment that comes after the tears, after the shaking, after the nights where your chest felt too tight to breathe, after the days where the world seemed muted and distant. There is a moment where the storm inside you begins to quiet. Not all at once, not suddenly, not dramatically, but slowly, softly, like the way dawn touches the horizon before the light is fully visible. You start to notice small things. You laugh one day, even if just for a second, and it surprises you, because you thought your heart had forgotten how to. You wake up one morning and your chest feels lighter, not healed, just lighter, as if the grief loosened its grip just a little. You look at your hands and realize they're not shaking the way they used to. Your thoughts are not drowning you the way they once did. Your memories still exist, but they no longer feel sharp enough to cut you. This is what healing looks like. Not forgetting, not erasing, not pretending it never mattered. Healing is when what once broke you no longer defines you. And this is when the wisdom begins to appear. You start to see it. If they had stayed, you would have stayed small. If they had stayed, you would have kept betraying yourself to preserve them. If they had stayed, you would have kept silencing your heart just to avoid losing them. If they had stayed, you would have lost you. So Allah removed them before you lost the parts of your soul that were meant for Him alone. And now your heart is free to grow again, to breathe again, to rise again, to return to the home it forgot, the home of Allah's nearness. Because the truth is, you don't miss them. You miss the version of yourself that loved fearlessly, the version of yourself that felt alive, the version of yourself that believed in connection. And that version of you is not lost. She is returning. He is returning. But this time, wiser, stronger, more gentle, more grounded, more connected to Allah. And when that returning is complete, Allah will give you what was always meant to find you. Someone whose presence does not shake your heart, but settles it. Someone whose love does not confuse your mind, but clarifies it. Someone whose words are not loud, but sincere. Someone whose actions match their promises. Someone who doesn't love you because they need you, but because their soul recognizes yours. Someone who sees your wounds and doesn't run. Someone who hears your silence and understands. Someone who holds your heart like a trust from Allah because it is. Someone who says, "We'll walk to Allah together." This is the replacement Allah is preparing you for. Not the kind of love that burns and leaves ashes, but the kind of love that blooms, the kind of love that grows with respect, with gentleness, with patience, with mercy. A love that feels like dua you don't have to explain. A love that feels like sujood after a long day. A love that feels like coming home to a heart that already knows yours. But before Allah gives you this love, He is giving you yourself back. Because He loves you more than you know, more than your heart can understand, more than any human could ever love you. So yes, what Allah takes, He replaces with better, not just better in the dunya, better for your soul, better for your akhirah, better for your becoming. You are not being denied, you are being prepared. There is something Allah has been trying to tell you, not through words, not through signs you chase, not through dreams you try to interpret, but through the silence in your chest, through the ache that refuses to go away, through the moments where your heart suddenly grows heavy for no reason, through the loneliness that sits quietly beside you, like a shadow you didn't ask for. He has been trying to reach you, not to scare you, not to punish you, not to break you, but to call you back, back to the place where your soul once felt safe, back to the place where your heart once knew how to rest, back to the place where love never felt like fear, back to him. Because somewhere along the way, your heart began to belong to someone else more than it belonged to Allah. You didn't mean for it to happen. No one chooses that. It happens slowly, in the way you think of them before you sleep, in the way your mood changes based on their presence, in the way their absence feels like oxygen leaving your lungs. You thought it was love, and yes, it was love. But love, without Allah at the center, turns into attachment, and attachment, without Allah, turns into sickness of the heart. So Allah whispered, "Come back to me." But you were too deep in your longing, too invested, too hopeful. So the whisper became a nudge. And when the nudge did not wake you, the nudge became a heartbreak. Not because Allah wanted to hurt you, but because heartbreak was the only language your soul would understand at that depth. And now, here you are, a little quieter, a little slower, a little more fragile, a little more aware of how much you can feel. Your chest is not empty. It is open. Open in a way it has never been before. Open in a way that lets Allah in more deeply than ever before. Open in a way that finally makes room for something real. And this is the whisper, the one your heart has been waiting to hear. You were never alone, not for a single breath, not for a single tear, not for a single night. Allah was with you in every silent breakdown. Allah was with you in every painful letting go. Allah was with you when your hands were shaking. Allah was with you when you whispered, "I can't do this anymore." Allah was the one holding your heart together when it felt like it was falling apart. Not people, not memories, not distractions. Allah. And now, your heart is returning to Him not because someone told you to, not because you felt obligated, not because you were taught to, but because life showed you that no love is safe if Allah is not in it. And so, the whisper gently says, "I took what you thought you couldn't live without, to show you that your life is held by me." You didn't lose anything. You were being carried. You were being guided. You were being rewritten. Your story did not fall apart. Your story began, because the moment you break in front of Allah is the moment you begin to heal. The moment you say, "Ya Allah, I can't do this alone," it is the moment you stop being alone. The moment you release what was never meant to stay is the moment Allah places peace where pain once lived. This is the whisper. You are safe now. You are seen. You are held. You are being led somewhere beautiful. Do not rush. Do not run. Do not numb this moment. Just breathe. Your heart is in the hands of the one who created it. Breathe. You don't have to hold everything together anymore. You don't have to pretend you're strong when your heart is trembling. You don't have to hide the ache behind your smile. You don't have to swallow your sadness so the world thinks you're fine. Allah is not asking you to be unbreakable. He is asking you to bring your breaking to Him. Because there are some things the heart can only say in tears. There are some prayers the soul can only speak in silence. There are some wounds Allah waits for you to hand over yourself. This heartbreak you're living through is not a sign that you are weak. It is a sign that you are His. Your heart was never designed to hold the weight of the world. Your heart was designed to lean on the one who has never left. Not for a moment, not for a breath, not even when you were too distracted to notice Him. He was there when you laughed. He was there when you loved. He was there when you broke. He is here now as you heal. You are not lost. You are being redirected. You are not forgotten. You are being realigned. You are not abandoned. You are being reclaimed. The pain you feel in your chest is not the pain of something being taken away. It is the pain of something being restored. Your heart is learning how to beat for Allah again, how to pray with sincerity again, how to trust again, how to breathe without gripping something fragile to survive. This is the quiet rebirth, the one no one sees, the one no one claps for, the one no one congratulates, but Allah sees it, and every step back toward Him is written in your book, with more beauty than any success of this world. And this is the whisper you were meant to hear. The love I take from your life cannot compare to the love I am preparing for your soul. The love Allah will give you one day will not feel like waiting for messages. It will not feel like guessing your worth. It will not feel like begging to be treated with care. It will be gentle. It will be intentional. It will be steady. It will be respectful. It will be honest. It will feel like a dua answered slowly, softly, beautifully. It will feel like your soul was always waiting for this connection, long before you ever knew their name. And the one who is written for you. They are not being kept from you. They are being prepared, just like you. Prepared to recognize your heart. Prepared to honor your soul. Prepared to love you in a way that leads you both to Allah. Prepared to hold your hand on the day when hearts tremble. And, until then, your heart is safe with Allah. Cry when it hurts. Sit in silence when you need to. Speak to Him even when your voice shakes. Tell Him everything you cannot tell anyone else. Because He hears you. Every word, every tear, every breath of your pain. And one day, maybe soon, maybe later, you will wake up and realize your heart is no longer heavy, not because you forgot, but because Allah replaced pain with peace. And in that moment, your soul will whisper, "This is what He was preparing me for." You have not been walking alone, not for a single step. Allah has been guiding you back to a love that never leaves, back to Him, always back to Him. There will come a night where you are lying in the same place where you once broke, the same room, the same silence, the same ceiling staring back at you, but the pain will not feel the same. Your heart will feel softer, not shattered. Your breathing will feel slower, not strained. Your mind will feel clearer, not drowning. And you will realize something quietly, gently, beautifully. You survived something you once thought would destroy you, not because you were strong on your own, not because you healed quickly, not because you moved on fast, but because Allah carried you through the nights you couldn't carry yourself. He held your heart together when you didn't know how to. He protected your soul when it was fragile. He wrapped you with His mercy when the world felt cold. And now, your heart is starting to recognize that protection. You will still remember them. You will still remember what you wanted. You will still remember the version of yourself who loved with everything. But those memories will stop hurting. They will become soft, gentle, like pages from a story that no longer belongs to your present, but helped shape your soul in beautiful ways. You will stop asking, "Why did they leave? Why didn't it work? Why wasn't I enough?" And instead, you will begin to say, "Alhamdulillah, Allah saved me from something I could not see." Your heart will finally understand. Not everything that feels right is meant to stay. Not everything you love is meant to be kept. Not everyone who enters your life is meant to build a home in it. Some people are doors to Allah. They walk in, shake your world, break your heart open, and leave. And their leaving forces your heart to return to the one who never leaves. This is the secret. What left you was something you were outgrowing. You didn't lose love. You outgrew the version of yourself that needed their presence to feel whole. Your soul is expanding. Your heart is deepening. Your spirit is returning to its true owner. And with that return comes peace. A peace that does not depend on outcomes. A peace that does not depend on people. A peace that does not depend on promises that may break. A peace that comes from knowing Allah is enough. And Allah will bring what is meant for you, and nothing can stop what He writes. You don't have to chase anymore. You don't have to beg anymore. You don't have to fear losing anymore, because what is written for you will find you with ease, with calm, with dignity, with Allah in the center. And when that day comes, when the love written for you arrives, it will not feel like fireworks. It will feel like relief, a sigh from your heart, a quiet knowing, a gentle settling. It will feel like something inside you says, "This is what I was created to recognize." Your soul will feel safe. Your heart will feel seen. Your spirit will feel held. Not because the person is perfect, but because the connection is from Allah. This is, what is coming is better than what left. And your heart is being prepared to receive that better with grace, with strength, with softness, with faith, with peace. You are not waiting anymore. You are becoming. Before this video ends, place your hand on your heart. Feel it beating. This heart has survived every night you thought would break you. This heart has carried pain you never spoke out loud. This heart has cried where no one saw. This heart has healed wounds nobody apologized for. And it's still beating, which means Allah never left you. Not when you were confused. Not when you felt abandoned. Not when your nights felt endless. Not when you whispered, "Ya Allah, help me." He was there. He is still there. And He has been guiding your heart back to Him with every tear you wiped alone. You didn't lose anything meant for your soul. Let me say that again. You did not lose anything meant for your soul. What left was written to leave. And what is coming is written to stay. The love you will one day witness will not feel like fear. It will not feel like confusion. It will not feel like your chest tightening. It will feel like coming home. And when it arrives, you will understand every delay, every heartbreak, every tear, every night you stayed up asking, "Why me?" Because the answer was always, "I am preparing your heart for something sacred." So tonight, sleep gently. Not because life is perfect, but because Allah is still writing your story. And His stories never end in loss. Your time is coming. Your peace is coming. Your love is coming. Your healing is coming. And when it arrives, you'll whisper through tears, "Ya Allah, thank you for every closed door that led me here. This was never the end. This was the beginning of your return to the you that Allah always intended." Good night, dear soul. You are held. You are seen. You are guided. You are loved. Always by Him.